Hey now, welcome back to Tall, Dark, and Moderately Handsome. It's your host, that guy, Alex. And another week has gone by, and I'll update you on some stuff, as always. We start with the past week job stuff. I applied to a few places, more of the schools, even did some audiobook auditions. One of them was very laborious. It was 4 pages, and this author paints very intricate pictures with naming trees and thistle and all this kind of stuff. It was like, whoa. That was a little rough trying to get through that one. Then on the opposite one was this kind of spicy cowboy romance. So I got to channel my little southern accent there. But nothing yet on all fronts. Been turned down by a lot of jobs that I've applied to and even interviewed for, including that courthouse job. I kind of had a feeling I may not get that one. Maybe for the best, but still. I don't understand, man. I've applied to more for the schools, and we'll see. I have to do a video interview before Friday, so we got to hop on that. And so, now that unemployment has ended, I can work doing Doordash. I didn't want to run the risk of messing with unemployment because it was like almost $250 a week. And with Doordash, you have no idea what you're going to make per day. And if it's less than that, would it have affected my unemployment? Irregardless, even though that's not a word, I decided to try it knowing that this was my last unemployment payment week. And I began on Monday. I went to a busy hub in town, which is about 7 miles from my house. Decided to do the lunch rush hours, which I pegged was 11 to 2 p.m. Now, my first dash was very, very low. It was like $2, but it was 2 miles. So I took it anyway. I wanted to get a feel for it. Again, I've watched lots of videos, so I had a little more of an idea. But once you're in it, it's like you hear this ding, and then you can either accept or decline the offer. And then when you hit accept, it gives you directions to the restaurant, which I knew it was a Wendy's nearby. I kind of know the layout of the land where the restaurants are. And went the 2 miles to this apartment building and gave it to the customer. So that was my first one. It went well. And I tried to stick in that central area. It's called usually a hotspot. And when you look at your Google app, there is a map of the area, and the hotspot area is colored, usually like a reddish color, so you know you're in there. And then once you're done delivering, you could tap on the app, continue dashing. And as I'm driving back into town, it starts dinging again. And just other restaurants nearby. But one was a score. It was a $7 order for less than a mile. It seems kind of funny to me that you don't want to go to this restaurant, which is like within walking distance from your house. It was very, very hot. I can understand that, but don't bother my ass. That's money in my pocket. So I was more than happy to do that. And I made about $40 that first day and drove about 40 miles. So it was kind of a wash. The second day, I decided to try dinner. Same area. I started at 4, and it was dead. My hot spot was dead. I think an order came in for Culver's. It was something like $11, but I have to drive like 18 miles. I'm like, no. So I left the area and went to another part of town, which is really hustling and bustling. They got the movie theater. They got tons of restaurants, shopping centers. So I figured that might be a good place. And I only got 2. One was very close, and the other one I had to drive maybe, I think it was like 9 miles. and I wanted to go till about 7 p.m. So I got back to the area at 6 and nothing at all. There was some offers, but they were so low. Like $2 to go 8 miles? No. You got to think your rule of thumb is you kind of want to get maybe $1 per mile. And you have to figure it's going and coming back, right? So if you're going way out of your zone, if you have to go 15 miles, that's 50 miles one way and 50 miles the other. Is it worth it? Well, I kind of experimented with that rule on my third day. I went back to my main town and cleared about $29, but I did 50 miles. And one offer was about $11, but I had to go 15 miles and was like, well, I took it. I don't know why, but I did, and that was the end of that shift. I mean, it's really out in the middle of nowhere, it seemed like, but that is the weird thing, though. If you decline too many things as a newbie, your offers don't come in as much. So it's really strange. Like, I don't want to accept everything. It doesn't make sense. My car is an older car. It's 20 years old. I don't want to push it that much. And just doing the 3-hour shifts seems okay right now. Maybe Friday I might try a lunch and a dinner because it is Friday. We'll see. I also got a mileage app to keep track of my mileage. So I recommend that for anybody doing driver delivery. And it was a little strange working again. Like I said, I didn't want to risk taking any side hustles or gig work that I wouldn't be sure would equate what I made for unemployment and knock that total out. I mean, I was really hoping that I would get something before it ran out. I just don't get it. Which brings me to my pain points and challenges section. Knowing unemployment finished, the despair has come and gone in waves. Am I really unhirable? I've been on a lot of interviews. I've been to job fairs. People have met me. I mean, I don't know. Is it an age thing? I'm 55. That comes with lots of years of wisdom. I was at the clerk's office for 9 frickin' years. I just don't understand. It really crushes the spirit because I was the breadwinner. And man, it takes you down a very dark path. I was thinking about death again. I don't have it in me to actually commit suicide. But there were times I'm like, I mean, has this been worth it? I mean, what is the point of living if this is the way it's going to be? I mean, this can't keep going on. And I was like, well, if I go to sleep and don't wake up, that's it, right? Yeah, I went there. I really went there. It's just, I mean, throw me a freaking bone here. I don't know what else I need to do. I actually started using Claude AI for drafting cover letters and fine-tuning my resumes to particular job descriptions I'm applying for. It's really pretty good at it. It does it in a very different way than ChatGPT does. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm here still. Doordashing has helped bring a little spark back into my life. I don't want to try and attach too much of my identity to a working man, but it is an important part. I am a man. I have a house. I have a wife. I have pets. And I have things I have to take care of. And to have that something taken away and thinking, well, I'll get something and not get something in 3 months, almost 4. It's like, you kind of question yourself. Like, what's wrong with me? Why wouldn't anybody want to hire me? Because you got to think, maybe it's a different time. When I applied to the clerk's office, I was working at Lowe's. Like, why would they want to hire anybody that works at Lowe's? But they did. And now I have that clerk experience behind me, and why don't they want to hire me? Yeah, I was terminated, but for stupid crap. I've been grateful that my job interviews have never asked me why I was let go. Some applications do, but actually, Claude says put involuntary separation as the reason. I like that. So, anyway, going through that, and this is kind of an in between feeling. I'm going to be doing some computer training. It's all remote. This was the thing I was telling you about. I got the laptop. It starts today, actually. And it's 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's 4-hour blocks. Like, really? And it's at 3 p.m. Like, you're going to mess with my evening? My quality time with my wives? I'm really not looking forward to this because, that could be time I could be doing work stuff. Granted, I'm learning about Microsoft Suite, so it could help me in the future. It's just, having to learn some more crap. And it's free. Like I said, I got a grant for it, but it's just knowing it's there, and it's like, man, this is just going to be a big chunk of my day. Why couldn't these classes be 2 hours? That's fine. But 4? Oy. I'll deal. Like I said, I think the universe wants me to take this stuff, so I might as well. It'll only benefit me, I guess, in the long run. Okay, let's move on to the creativity inspiration section. Still working on my Fight to Save the Universe story for the Insurgents characters, and I'm kind of at a standstill. It's just not working. I wrote a lot about the characters getting to know each other, origin stories, and what they should do, and get training from the Outworlders, but I don't know, the characters seem a bit schmaltzy. That's a word. But there's also some characters that might seem too powerful for this kind of story. I'm trying to make it more like this kind of crime drama grounded with a mafia, but the mafia does have some thugs that have superpowers, which is okay. But some of the other ones, it's really tough. I might have to shuffle some things around, but I'm like 15 pages in. I'm getting tired of this, man. I mean, it is inspiring to write the characters and write the lines and see what motivates them, but it's just not working. So I'll have to do some shuffling around and let you know how that goes. Of course, I did publish another video about me creating my kids' books and still focusing on my second Meow Meow book. And in the video, I just show some of my pencil sketches and how they translate into the digital world, how I use those ideas. So it came out pretty good. I wish my dad happy Father's Day and happy birthday. Yes, his birthday is June 24th, always close to Father's Day. A double whammy. He turned 83. Very nice. And I got nice wishes from my stepdaughter and granddaughter, so that warmed my heart. Other things, it was nice to see Eddie Murphy get the AFI Award of Achievement, American Film Institute. He just turned 65, and it's been quite the career. I mean, when he came onto the scene on Saturday Night Live, I thought, oh, this guy is freaking hilarious. Look at him. And then when he made it to movies, I'm like, whoa, he's even funnier on the big screen. He was the comedy king of film and TV in the 80s. Couldn't be matched. And he created some memorable flicks and characters. Way to go, Eddie. And we also saw a good docu-series on Ted Turner. And it was Call Me Ted. Didn't know a lot about him. He was a bit of a character, but he worked his way up. He had a family business. His father committed suicide. But he took over and built it into an empire. And he really took some swings. Some that worked and some that didn't. He had a deal with the WB. I don't think he should ever have sold his company to them. And then they merged with AOL, and you know how that went. But he was a humanitarian. He created the Goodwill Games. He donated to the UN. He has all that land for bison. He really wants to help others. You can see it. He really loved life. And unfortunately, I think his biggest weakness was being a faithful man, it looked like. When he was starting to date Jane Fonda, he had a calendar, and there was all these other women's names, and he said, okay, I'm available with you this day if you want to meet up. And she told him when they got engaged, he has to stop. I mean, they got married, but then like a few months later, she found him cheating on her. Like, Ted, come on, man. Well, his father drilled it into his head that, a man's purpose is to spread his seed. But dude, you're 50 years old. Come on, you should be a little more wise now. I mean, all these guys wanted to sow our oats when we're reaching puberty. But if you're in a relationship, I mean, really committed one, and it's pretty equal, stick with it. Choose love. That's something I learned from a book. You've gotten this far with someone, choose love and choose that person, because the grass isn't greener on the other side. Nope. Thankfully, I have no experience in that, but it is a wise saying for a reason. And eventually, he succumbed to dementia and just died this past year at the age of 87. Rest in peace, Ted. You had quite an interesting life. Glad we got to see that. And speaking of nature, I'm sure he's seen these on his property. We saw a deer. I don't think I've ever seen a deer on my property, but my dog ran out into the yard, and I'm like, I don't know what she's running after. And then at first I thought it was a big bird, maybe a hawk or eagle taking off. But as it moved, I saw that unmistakable pointed up fluffy tail of a deer. So you know me and spiritual messages, I had to look it up. This is very apropos for moi. The message is to approach life's challenges with compassion rather than force, to trust your instincts, and to reconnect with your inner peace. Pretty heavy, hey dude? Yeah, I'm trying, but as I've stated, it's challenging. Working again, doing Doordash is helping. It's interesting. It's giving me a little purpose. Like I said, I'm not looking forward to the training, but I'll do it, so maybe it'll lead to something else. And I'll keep with my art, keep creating these, and doing my videos and whatever it takes. Because it's just jarring that almost every year nothing changes. Every year I seem to be going nowhere. I can't get to that next level. I can't break through that ceiling. I just don't know what's holding me back. Maybe I should be putting in more work. I'm not 100% sure. But let's see what happens. So far this year has really sucked. The majority of the year has really sucked. So as we're getting out of June, I'm hoping my month, July, which is my birthday month, will be that change. Please. A good one. I need some good news, some good vibes, some W's, some wins in this corner. And I'm hoping the same for you if you're on the same journey. I really do. I don't want you to go down. I never went down, Ray. I never went down. So let's see what we can accomplish together, help each other, and grow from there. And I'll update you next week on what happened. These are the things you have to deal with when you're tall, dark, and moderately handsome, like me. All right. Thanks for listening to me. And I will see you next week. Until then, take it easy.